Welcome back to the Bach Boys. This is part 2 of week 3 of season 2 of Jojo's season of the Bach Boys with a Bach girl, Natasha M., our special guest, former Miss California 2015, host on Collider. This is a part 2 episode. It should say it in the title.
So a toast to Natasha being here.
To toast to Natasha.
Thank you, boys.
I'm drinking a beer still.
Oh, you didn't cheers me. That was so
Because
rude.
there's no rules this
rules.
season. And yeah, it's our first part 2 ever. We cheers to that as well. We're doing part 2 because the ABC sadists made us wait and dragged something out. They split it arbitrarily, like the third book in a young adult drama book series.
Twilight.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Twilight.
talking about. How they split the
I
books.
never forget.
Never forget.
Twilight 3, Breaking Dawn. Never forget. Jacob, you were always the one for Bella.
Hey,
I rest my
no
case.
spoilies. I'm still reading the books.
Oh,
The books.
dude, I read Twilight as a book report book.
That's a book report.
A book report book when I was 15 years old. And I was in the honors class at my school. Get that. American
Proud of you.
Public
That
Education
explains
System.
why
makes
you
one.
like Luke so much. Is because you fell in love with lifeless vampires early on.
So if you're just watching this, there's a whole other episode where we talked about everything else that happened
about
and
the
the group
group
dates
dates.
and stuff. This one's
The
going to be
one-on-ones.
dedicated to Chad.
Well, and yeah, it's all actually. This is a Chad episode. This is the Chad special. I don't even know where to begin. There's a whole mess of stuff.
Shall we read?
I know where to begin, if I may.
Absolutely.
There's a conversation between Damn Daniel and Chad, which I think exactly encapsulates what I think happened with this whole situation.
I'm pouring more wine because there's no rules this season, and it's part 2.
Yeah, cool.
Brought to you by Sutter Home.
Yeah, Sutter Home.
Still brought to you by Sutter Home.
Tip me off with some Sutter Home, won't you, Ryan?
Oh, absolutely, Natasha M.
Thank you.
Here, it's Sutter Home, earthy and oaky.
We want to promote our wine people now. Casey was supposed to do it, but he just brought out a beer.
No rules.
No
He
rules.
abandoned
All right.
Sutter Home.
So look, I want to bring it back.
Okay.
Damn Daniel says to Chad, so if you're like Hitler, am I like Hitler's friend? And Chad's like, how about we don't call me Hitler?
That
And
was
now-
funny that even Chad was like, I don't think I'm Hitler.
But this is my point. My point is that everyone has put this label on Chad that he's this terrible guy. And look, I've been the number one Chad hater from the beginning, but I think that Evan and Alex and some of these other guys in the house have instigated him and have tried to get him to be this guy on The Bachelor that I think he somewhat was, but never to the extent that they made him out to be. And that he really did get the the raw end of a stick here. I don't know if that's an
No,
expression.
I'm with you. Like,
He's
well,
a
he
bad
even-
guy, but he just got.
It's like, no, he said it himself. And I'm not team Chad. I'm team right reasons. And I think Chad has shined an interesting light on the definition of the right reasons. We'll get to that later. So just prefacing, I'm not team Chad, but I do agree that Chad has been bullied. Like, Chad was bullied. And like Jojo said, I think he's been hurt. He's probably struggling a lot with his emotions from his mom's death. Our condolences to Chad. I think Chad didn't start anything ever. He stood up for himself. At one point, he said something about, like, I don't want to go on a group date. Like, that. Why is that so bad? I'm stammering because I'm flustered about it. I don't know how to process this. Natasha, what are your thoughts on Chad?
Okay, Chad. I totally agree that I think that he's probably, he's got a lot of things going on. He just, went through this recent death. But I think when he was explaining to Jojo near the end of their double date that these men, whatever you want to call them, were cornering him, I don't really think that's true. I think he actually did come in with the right reasons, but I think, like, deep down, Chad did have that really violent, aggressive side, and it just came out. But I don't think that it was the other guy's fault.
Well, I agree. I think on episode 1, I predicted that Chad must have had a history of violence on his record, because I think ABC wanted that. I think they were into it. Like, they were like, oh, this guy's like gets violent when drunk. Like, oh, let's bring him on.
Yeah.
But
and that's sad that they're exploiting him for that, because
they're sadists.
Look, I don't want to. That's the one thing I want to clarify is I don't want to say that when someone's provoked, it's ever anything but their own fault for taking action. He made those threats. He's his own man. He makes his own choices. That being said, I think my point is that Evan and Alex and all these other dudes are not innocent. In my opinion, Evan and Alex should have gone home with Chad because I think they're all a problem.
I agree, and I think that they're there for the wrong reasons. All of them, because like I don't know who said it earlier, but they're not going for Jojo, they're going for Chad. So in that, I think they've already just dug their grave and they're gonna lay in it sooner or later.
That was me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My
And
clear
I mean,
eyes.
Yes, your
Evan
clear
was
eyes.
like, if Chad stays, I go. And I was waiting for Jojo to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Like, yeah. I mean, who wants you, Evan?
Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. One of our lights just went out.
No.
Show must go on. Should we just continue?
Show
One of
must
the
go
lights?
For all you audio people out there, it doesn't matter. For
It
all you
just
visual
got
people,
darker,
just a
I
little
think.
darker, a little more
It's because we're
intimate.
talking about Chad,
He's
so
a
we
storm
decided
cloud
to
in the
darken
house.
mood.
He's found us.
Oh no, I'm scared.
So just playing devil's advocate for a second. You guys all three sounded a lot more sympathetic to Chad than I thought. Chad has lied. Chad has lied
Yeah.
frequently. Chad has made threats frequently. What do you guys have to say about that?
I think that Chad has a tough time navigating his feelings, isn't very good with words necessarily, and has some anger issues for sure. I mean, he punched a freaking door and has ripped Evan's shirt. God forbid. I love when Evan's like, you owe me for my shirt.
He's like, I'll pay you $20.
It was
so awesome.
such a beautiful insult to be like, your shirt was $20.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So you guys are saying, like, of all the times that you know, there was a confrontation and Chris Harrison takes him outside. He's like, you're being too violent. Like, you punched the door. It's just, you're threatening the guys. You need to go make peace. Chad did not do the best way of doing that. You guys still stand by this.
Well, no.
Feel
no-
my opinion.
No.
Touch it.
Taste it.
Here's the thing. Like, Chad is terrible at apologizing. I think, yes, of course, I think it's like it's
The lamest apology ever when he
Yeah.
came back in after
His-
the wait, after the 24-hour wait.
his threats, all that stuff. It's inexcusable. But every time there's a silence in the room, Alex would just sit there, like, cross his arms with his feet, like, comfortably sitting up on the cushions because they can't reach the floor, and go like,
Yeah, that's true. Notice how few times Alex's feet touch the ground.
What's your guys' nickname for Alex?
Mini Chris Pine, because he looks like if you
Yeah.
took Chris Pine and went,
look,
smushed
I was
him down.
thinking Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that too. You are so much better than Jake C. Jake, you're never coming back.
look. But he'd sit there, and he'd go like out of nowhere, he'd just be like, Chad sucks. Chad eats a lot of meat, and like everyone's just like.
See, I felt that from Evan. Like, I felt like Evan was
Well, both
more,
of them. Yeah, they
both
just
of them, but I felt
say
like
shit.
Alex he would kind of react to Chad, but Evan was like, once their whole little tiff from the comedy club was done, he just kept poking and poking and poking.
Well, and Evan, like, again, he just had this superiority complex because he thought he took down Chad, and then all of a sudden he thinks he's like this great guy, and he tells on him to Chris Harrison. It's like, what are you, 4 years old? Like,
Yeah.
I can't remain silent anymore.
Tell us.
Would you
he's
guys
your
like-
pick. He's
Would
your
you guys
pick.
like to
Daniel.
know my opinion on all this
Clear eyes, Dan.
and all this crazy
You
nonsense?
you picked this guy, episode 1, when it was obvious that he was, rough around the edges.
I have a question. This is an honest question. I want you guys to answer this honestly. If you were in Alex's position, do you think, or Evan's position, how do you think you would handle it?
I would abstain from getting involved in the conflict because the point of being on the show is to be with JoJo.
Okay.
And not to,
So
again,
you
it's,
would completely pacifist.
I would
Pull a Poland and get invaded.
I would
later.
abstain. I'd pull a Wells. I don't think Wells is getting involved.
he's
I don't think
not.
Derek, my new pick, Derek, Thick Jim, I don't think Thick Jim is getting involved,
I think you're not. It's unless someone is like has a girlfriend back home and you know about it or something like that. Something like unbelievably egregious. You can't just like spend all your time talking about how someone else is there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You need to trust that your relationship with JoJo is working and that because you're there for the right reasons, she's gonna see that. It's about demonstrating self-worth, not trouncing on others. That's what I hate about how Alex and Evan handled it. And I would have just done the same thing Ryan did, but I probably would have told Chad, look, man, I'm with you. Like the same thing Chad said, actually, which is just like, I don't want to talk about this. I'm here for JoJo. Stay on your side of the house, man.
Natasha, what'd you think?
I mean, I think that me being having my personality, I probably wouldn't have gotten involved. But like being in that situation and feeling unsafe, I probably would have brought it up to somebody other than JoJo, and then just kept my time with JoJo for JoJo.
I would have talked to Chris Harrison about it because I wouldn't have tattled like Evan did.
Okay,
But
what's
I
the
would've-
difference?
Yeah.
Because I would have just like
No one
I
likes
just
a-
want to talk.
No one likes a snitch, man.
I just want to
You
talk to
settle
Chris
this
Harrison
out by the flagpole,
No, I'm
just
not-
the old-fashioned way.
I will find you, Daniel. This isn't just a show.
Pass a note to Chad. Meet me outside of the Batch Manch after the rose ceremony. Me and you. There's a flagpole there. They could have a fight.
They can have a fight.
Okay, so I want to
I
get
would
into my
talk to
opinion.
Chris Harrison just to talk to Chris Harrison. I wouldn't tattle.
You just
I
want to
just-
stare at his
He's
glory.
just lonely.
I just want to talk to him. He seems so cool.
I would like to now share my full opinions on this. Okay. Evan, you're right. He's not there for the right reasons. He's not. I totally agree with you. At first, I admired, his desire to take a stand against Chad's aggressive behavior, but then it quickly turned into something else. Because what Evan and Alex should have done is when Chad apologized, no matter how mediocre it was, even though he insulted his shirt, they should have just taken the high road, buried the hatchet
Squash
there.
it.
Yes.
It's what
That-
men do.
That would have been the good move, just like helping Wells during the firefighter date would have been the good move from the other guys. Take the L, but you show JoJo that it was never a competition. You're there for relationships. It's not about winning. It's about the people. Alex, on the other hand, I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Dude,
Why?
I like Alex, okay?
Well, I thought he
Because-
handled when he told JoJo about Chad. I thought he handled that well. The 2-on-1 was surprisingly tame. Like,
It was probably very quiet. There's probably not a lot of drama on it. So this is the thing. Alex has, plug your ears, lady, balls of steel. Okay, that's it. Like,
I'm offended. Ow, my ears.
so I'm sure Evan has a solution
said
for anyone
balls
with
of
balls
steel,
of steel out
Natasha.
there.
Oh, you didn't make me cover my ears again.
Yeah, I just wanted you to
It's
know.
okay.
that,
It wasn't
And
that.
Evan fixes balls of steel.
Yeah, exactly. So
What a guy.
anyway, what I mean to say is, dude, Alex, when I watch that dude, yes, he's making a mistake by not being there for JoJo. Yes, I think his time is very limited on the show. Dude, when Chad confronts him, gets up in his mug, he is fearless. I see zero fear in his eyes, and he's a good representation, in my opinion, of what the United States military
Yeah.
brings out the best in someone.
See,
Better
he's
than
not
Luke.
just a veteran.
He's a Marine. And well, so is Chad. That's the interesting
Dude,
thing.
that's the interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and I
you're
think
totally
that's
right.
why. Well, Alex said, "I knew you were a Marine. I thought we were going to be best friends." But I think that's also the reason that Alex feels comfortable standing up to Chad is because I feel like that's the kind of thing that happened in the Marines. I mean, I've never been in the Marines.
Yeah. Except for that one time.
They asked me to come
You
to the
dabbled.
Marines. They asked me to come, and I tried it for like a day, and I was like, I'm better than this.
Who's okay?
Again.
Our veterans.
We love
Again,
I don't
back
wanna
to
be
the
just a veteran.
hashtag just a Marine.
Well, okay, so this is a little too off topic, but I'm just saying I
was a
like
joke in part
Alex.
one.
Whenever he feels threatened, like Diet Rogers, he passes it off. Like all the other guys pass it off, but dude, when it's like 2-on-1 Alex, it's usually like producer stank. Like we're gonna milk this moment and like get some dramatic shots and play some music. Alex was like, "Oh, bring it on, bro." He's like, "I am taking you down." Like he just shot straight for it, dude. And I think
Yeah, the
and
minute they
Alex-
read the date
because
card.
I don't think Chad's behavior was appropriate. While Chad was my pick, is my pick. I don't think his behavior was appropriate. I think Alex was definitely a man's man in that situation, but not right for the show.
Well,
Now-
wait, let's talk about this. Is Chad still your pick? Because
Yes.
he's gone. He didn't get a
Nope,
rose.
nope.
He went home.
Chad is not gone, and I would like to discuss this right now amongst us. Can we do this last? I want to share my last opinions on Chad. I think
Well, I
this
have
might
another
help.
opinion to talk about Chad.
Okay,
The
this might
Chad
help.
to be continued is to be continued for the next couple minutes.
Okay.
Tune in soon. Stay with us.
I think that we've glossed over a little too much that Chad's mom passed away only 6 months ago. That's really, really big. I know people come on the show with sob stories, but that's like way too recent. Like, I don't even think he should be on the show.
Well, what about Sanderson Poe? When did her husband die?
Whatever
Remember
happened to
Sanderson
Amos
Poe?
Lee getting these concerts from other people that aren't him?
Hey, Charles Kelly was here. Everyone's favorite singer, Charles Kelly, and Dan and Shay was the next.
Anyway,
Remember? we
Their
love
very
them.
own title card.
What do you guys think about Chad? Because I think Chad's behavior is inexcusable. I do think he came in the beginning for the right reasons. It's ridiculous, though, what his mom is. And I think that JoJo's going to spill the beans next episode.
No, it's what I said.
Oh.
Chad pokes a hole in the definition of the right reasons because he had something important to say. Like, Chad is being real. Whether or not he's being socially appropriate or well behaved. He's being himself. And he pointed out that on one of the early group dates, he was like, "Why are you all saying you're in love with Jojo? You don't even know her." Like, and it's so right. Like, and we all consider this as part of the process, but they're lying? They like her, sure, and she's pretty, like, but they're not like, they don't have feelings for her, and they can't possibly see the rest of their lives with her.
Dude, it's just like Damn Daniel said, and that Hitler was being himself. He did exactly what
Donald
he thought
Trump,
was right.
Here I go, genociding again.
I'm just saying, man, that just because you're doing you and being #real doesn't mean you're a good guy deserving of JoJo's love.
I'm not saying he's.
And it doesn't mean you're here for the right reasons. That's what you are saying.
I'm not saying he's. No, I am not saying he deserves JoJo's love, and I'm not necessarily saying he's here for the right reasons. I also just poured myself another glass of wine for the audio listeners.
They were wondering.
They could hear the sound. I just think that Chad. I'm not saying he's not. He could be here for the right reasons. I think he was looking for love, especially at this time in his life. But what do we think about these guys saying like, "Oh, like JoJo's the only girl for me"? It's like, you don't know her. Like,
what's surprising is I picked Chad, and you guys all gave me so much crap for it. Not you, Natasha, but these guys over here. And now you were the ones defending him, and I feel like I'm bringing up the negative side, and he's still my pick.
There are no rules.
I'm not defending Chad. I am defending the right reasons.
But can you explain why Chad was your initial first pick?
Because,
like, what did you see in
well,
him?
there's two sides to this coin, Natasha. Number one, I thought that Chad was here for the right reasons. I thought he was different, and JoJo likes a bad boy. She does. You know
Specifically
why?
bad boys named Chad.
Because what she said to Chad when they were in the woods, she gets up close and says, "I love how attentive and sensitive you are when you're in these moments." As she ran her hand up and down his chiseled pecs and abs, his 8-pack. She said, "I love how sensitive and attentive you are," which is interesting because Evan is sensitive and attentive, but she clearly doesn't like Evan. No, she likes bad boys. Number two, I knew he was going to get further than either Casey or Ryan's pick, and boy, was I right.
Only for me, but he's not my pick anymore. Thick Jim Derek is my pick, and I really he's a guy that I knew from the beginning.
Casey, you had something to say?
No, you did not get further than me. You just lost.
I said or. So anyway, I think Chad is not gone from the show yet.
Well, he's not. He's gonna.
So
he did this weird, he made this noise on the window. Oh, it didn't do it on this glass.
Do you guys think that was producer stank, or do you think he really did that? I think Chad.
I think that was 100% producer stank.
Is Chad an actor? He accused JoJo of being an actor. My dad thinks Chad's an actor.
Ooh, that could be great.
Bob Stiffelman thinks Chad is an actor.
So do you guys think, I'm still in the running right now.
You're not.
Chad has not left the building.
Do you think, though,
He was
that
not
when
given a
she
rose.
says, "I don't want people to leave without knowing the truth," that she's going to tell them the truth and then bring Chad back?
Yeah. I think that's a great point. I think she's going to tell everyone about his mom passing away. Then a couple guys will come out of the woodwork and try to play the hero card by saying, "Dude, we didn't know. I am very sorry. I want to help you through this." Chad's going to stay around. At least for the next episode. And one of two things. He will stay on, which I don't really see happening, or he will go home for the hero. America will love him and want him back for B&P.
Like when JJ got redeemed on Bachelor in Paradise. JJ, we love you.
This could be the greatest anti-hero story that the show has ever seen. And me liking an anti-hero just like Ryan Gosling in the movie Drive. What a flick.
Look, I know
you can't keep comparing every guy on The Bachelor to Ryan Gosling and Drive. They're not him. They're not critically acclaimed actors and Sexiest Man Alive. Ryan Gosling.
No, I think that our panel, we take the right reasons very seriously, and for that reason that we analyze everything carefully. We give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and we really think through things. I think America has had more of a gut reaction to Chad, and I think America knows that Chad's a bad guy. And at the end of the day, it's convoluted, but he's not right for her, and he has some growing to do. It doesn't mean he'll always be a bad guy, but I think the way, to me, that he speaks about relationships, I don't think he's ready for one, despite that he says that he is, because he calls it like being financially ready. Yeah. And that's not what it is. He's like, I'm in a place in my life where I can have a wife. It's
but I understand what he means. Like, I don't necessarily want to get married until I'm in a place financially where I can support a family and stuff, I mean...
Sure, but that's not. But he cites it in this weird way that's like all he cares about. I don't know. My point is that though I'm conflicted and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt in a lot of situations, and though I hate Evan and Alex, I think he's a bad guy, and I sort of side with Natasha if I'm understanding your point right, that he just isn't right for this.
I mean, I'll say one thing. When I first was introduced to Chad from the first episode, I definitely saw Jojo's attraction to him. It was like immediately, and I actually liked him. I was like, oh, like he was one of the guys that I actually remembered.
Right.
And
Thank
then
you.
and then as it kept going, of course, like all the drama started. But this is the reason why, even though we can all sympathize for him with what has happened, I think that Jojo made the right decision finally sending him home because, you know, okay, girls, if you're gonna date a guy and if you're gonna marry a man, you should not find those qualities of immediately going to violence and anger attractive.
Yes.
And I don't want Jojo to set a bad example for other women to think that that's okay because that's emotionally abusive. And it's just not right. It won't lead to great things, you know?
I also would really quick like to pause and address something that was like honestly the most beautiful and eloquent thing I've ever heard from you right now. And I think it was the same exact thing. You date a guy, you marry a man. You said that like accidentally.
Ooh, I didn't even know I said that.
No, but
Yeah,
like,
no,
we
you
both
did say
noticed.
that,
We
and
made
I
eye
was like,
contact. Yeah, it was crazy. Me and Casey had
It's
this
true.
moment.
Chad's not a man as much as he would like to say that he is with his meats and his cheeses and whatever the hell he does.
And his sword that the show gave him.
What the heck was that? They gave him a machete.
They're like, let's go in the woods. Just you guys. Just Chad, Alex, and Jojo. Chad, here's a machete.
No.
Alex,
Wait,
here's
I
an
missed
axe.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They gave him a sword for the 2-on-1.
Wow, ABC. Wow, I used to respect you.
They're sadists. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Finally, someone's on the boat.
Thank you.
How much time are we looking at, Daniel?
22.
22. All right, so we're wrapping it up.
Couple
We're
minutes
wrapping-
left. Oh yeah, go ahead.
But
Sorry.
I don't know. I think Chad pokes an interesting hole on what the definition is of the right reasons, because Chad is himself undeniably, whereas I feel some of the guys are putting on an act for Jojo. But I'd like to bring up this point I brought earlier. I don't think Jojo's here for the right reasons.
Wrong.
Yes.
Look,
Wrong.
I kind of
No,
agree.
Hold on. I think I disagree with your point that they're putting on an act. I think look at any first couple dates you go on with someone. You don't put up an act, but you're a cautious version of yourself. You're vulnerable.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's the thing. You're not like I could see myself with you for the rest of my life. Like
Look,
that's
that's
not
about
cautious.
respecting the process. That's about knowing that you're here for a wife and not a girlfriend. Okay.
Right reason number one.
Yeah.
Also,
We got the list
Here's
coming.
the thing.
Posters coming soon.
Jojo being JC's pick last season of who was going to win, coming all the way up until second place. Interesting thing. We always said that Jojo keeps it real. Am I correct?
Yeah, but
She does.
JoJo keeps it too real is my worry, because I feel like she is real to the point where she's willing to be like, oh, I'm just sexually attracted to these guys.
Well, I mean, we all see every time she sits down with either Diet Rogers, Chad, Luke, or any of those buff dudes. They're all pretty buff.
Well, I think
she's
this-
like, oh, I love how sweet you are. Let me.
Well, I think
got
this
some
is the
dirty
right
laundry.
time
Let me
before-
wash him
Before
on your
we
body.
continue to
Yeah.
give our perspective or our speculation on a women's thought process, we have a batch girl with us. Where do you stand on JoJo? Is she here looking for a husband? Is she here to have fun?
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to share this. This is the first Bachelor, Bachelorette season that I've watched. So I didn't watch JoJo's season. I don't have that backstory on her and how she was with Ben. I mean,
This is great. What do you think about her? Just
It
from
was
what you
just
know?
like Daniel
So-
B last season.
Yeah.
It was one of his first season of The
Exactly.
Bachelor.
So coming into it as a new viewer, I side more with you, Ryan S., because the sexual tension between her and those guys that you described, Daniel, it just seems like that's all she cares about. And she took them on, she did the sex yoga, she did the sex date, she did the hot tub, she does the stroking of like body parts. And it's just like, okay, I understand that in the beginning of a relationship that attraction is important, and oftentimes that becomes the focus of a relationship, which it shouldn't be. But I mean, I haven't seen anything from JoJo that makes me believe that she actually is here to find like a love for the rest of her life.
Well, I blame it on her upbringing, because I feel like as she was in elementary school, she was taught that the word sensitive and caring was actually the same thing as hot, oily muscles.
Oh.
Because she says that every time. Every time she
See
means
how that
nice,
can be confused.
yeah, nice, hot, oily muscles. She goes, "You're so sensitive and caring."
Wait, what do you mean? There's a distinction between those?
I like to think that, you know what I would do if I were on the show? I would get little braille things tattooed on my abs so that every time she sat in my lap, she would go, I love you too. That wasn't that funny.
You're
it was
assuming
funny
that
in my head.
Yeah,
All
I'd
the
get,
best.
I'd
like,
get a
like what if
tattoo
it was
on
like
my
secret
abs.
codes in their abs where it's like braille bumps because she
Luke
touches
has
them?
that.
All
No,
right,
we'd
never
all get
mind.
tattoos on our abs because we have abs. We totally have abs. We all
Yeah, from the war.
sweet abs. Yeah, because we're just veterans.
We're almost out of time here, Ryan.
Hashtag just veterans. We're out of time.
Before we go, though, I would like to know another classic car, another hot tub, another helicopter. Ben's season. This season, it makes sense why Jojo was with Ben. Maybe they fill out a questionnaire. What are your favorite things? Oh, hi, I'm Ben. I like helicopters. I like classic cars. And I like hot tubs. Hi, I'm Jojo. I like helicopters. I like classic cars. I like hot tubs. And interestingly enough, when they film a helicopter shot from the air, that means there are 2 helicopters there. Double the helicopter fun.
He is.
I'm going
Ben,
off the rails.
No. If you're implying that they did this personality test where Ben and JoJo matched up as a good match, you're wrong because my pick, Lauren B, ended up with Ben.
Get it?
I
You
picked
won.
her. I won last season, so it doesn't matter what I picked this season. Even though Christian was a really, really great
Look,
guy,
Nothing
and he
that you
deserved JoJo.
nothing
And
that you pick matters.
there's a
at all.
possibility. There's still a possibility you could end up with her, Christian. I bet he's with her right now. Hi guys. Hi Christian and JoJo. I see you together. You're so beautiful.
Enjoy your time with Thick Jim. I'm standing
Yeah.
by Chad.
He's my
Till
new
the ship goes
Enough
down.
about you guys. Enough about me. I want to thank our lovely guest for coming out here tonight.
Thank you, Natasha.
Yeah.
Give it up for
Bye.
Natasha.
M.
Yeah.
Thank
so,
you.
Natasha, we've already announced that you were Miss California 2015.
Yes.
You were the host on
So
Collider.
cool. That is so cool. Both
but-
of those are so cool. That's so cool.
But we understand there are a lot of women that listen to this show that I think would
Yes.
very, very much enjoy your blog that you recently launched.
Yeah, so I just launched my website. It's kind of a long name, but guys, I mean, buying domains is not as easy as it looks.
Believe us, batchboys.net.
So if you guys go to NatashaAlexisMartinez.com, I started a blog called Diary of a Girly Girl, and in part 1, which you all should have watched, Ryan introduced me as a professional girl, and like you guys have all said, I was Miss California, I was a former Laker girl, I was a former Disneyland princess.
I didn't know any of that. You're
I
so cool.
like to do
She
my
knows all
hair, I
about
like to
being
do
a
my
girl.
makeup, and so if you guys love embracing your girly side, come on over to my blog.
I've
I have stuff
read
to
it.
look at.
It's awesome. She does stuff about going to. I mean, whatever your music tastes are. Loved your Beyonce one. Loved your
Yes.
thing about the skincare.
Look at Daniel's
It's awesome.
hair. He looks great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Natasha, you're doing wonders for him. Thanks for the
I
blog.
gotta
Yeah,
say,
of course.
I'm interested in that blog. I'm a pretty progressive guy. Gender is fluid, and all of those things you listed on your resume are things that I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. Dang.
It's pretty
Well, then
great.
Diary of a Girly Girl is the place for you.
You'll
I'm
be a
gonna say
Laker
that.
girl someday.
guys who listen to this show, you know what? Maybe it's good to brush up on your feminine side.
Yeah.
So to close out, this is a special 2-part episode. We were really excited about it. I hope you stuck around. Thanks for waiting on us. As a whole thing with the 2 parts. Took us a little longer, but we're happy to be back. Batch Boys forever.
Write in to be a part of the show on batchboys.net.
Yeah, to contact us.
Please subscribe. Subscribe on iTunes. We're
Share.
on SoundCloud.
Please share.
Go on to Facebook. Do everything for us, please, please.
If
Nah,
you like
just
the
kidding.
show, no, in all honesty, for me, the guy who lost, I was everyone's favorite last season. I'm the loser this
You
season.
have 2 sides to you.
I'm
You were
a-
one
I'm a
person on this
loser.
show, and you were one person.
I'm just insecure, and I just need you to share. Please share, because if you share, more people will watch, and we'll feel less insecure. It's all about us. We're out of time. Toast to
Our first-
episode 2, part 2, our first part 2 ever of season 3, JoJo's season, with our first special celebrity guest.
It's episode 3.
Oh, it's episode 3.
Yeah.
No, but I said season 2, episode 3.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Cheers to Natasha and everybody.
Cheers.
Yay, to
Jake, we
JoJo.
still hate you. Just kidding.